Badr Milligan, and I'm thrilled to be your captain for the next hour. Make some noise if you're excited to hear and talk about Star Trek today. Like that. By show of hands, who has a burning question about Star Trek Lower Deck? Let me try that again. By show of hands, who's got a burning question about Star Trek Lower Deck? I like that. Okay, look, do me a favor. Hold on to your questions. We'll save that towards the end. How about we go ahead and introduce our panel, all right? You guys excited about getting them out here? Now, usually, Star Trek is about the legends, right? We're talking about the Kirks, the Spocks, the Picards. But today, we're talking about the people who actually keep the ship running while those guys are off having all the glory and fun. We're talking about the science nerds, the gearheads, the security chiefs who just want to eject the warp drive for once, right? Please help me in welcoming a cast that has redefined what it means to be a Starfleet officer. First up, you know her as the voice of the galaxy's most optimistic Orion, Devon Attendee. She's an SNL alum, the star of Master of None, and the creative force behind the 2017 comedy Miss Roosevelt. Let's give it up for Noel Wells. Next up, he's the man of the cybernetic implant. He voices Sam Rutherford in the show. You've also seen him in Loki, The Mandalorian, and Tacoma FD. And as a Jacksonville guy myself, I know there's a lot of you in the crowd today, I have to give a special shout out to the man who put the city on the map in the show The Good Place. Let's give it up for the legendary Eugene Cordero. And finally, if you've watched a cartoon or played a video game in the last 20 years, you have heard this man's voice. He can be heard regularly on Family Guy, American Dad, and The Cleveland Show. He's voiced Master Shifu in Kung Fu Panda. He voices multiple characters in Invincible. He's the Hulk in Avengers Assemble. It actually might be quicker to just say the show that he hasn't been in. Let's go to, but on Lower Decks, he is the voice of Lieutenant Shax, sorry. Let's give it up for the incomparable Fred Tatasciore, please. Hey guys.
Hi.
Mine's not working.
Oh.
Oh, no, it's working.
Oh, you got Mr. Budget.
Hi.
It is day 3 of Collective Con, and I want to give you guys a big shout out for, you know, I always have the utmost respect for the talent that ends up staying all 3 days for a convention, much less doing a panel on the last day of the convention. So let's give it up for
Thanks for showing up too.
Thank you this early.
I want to ask you guys a question about your first day on the show. Not even the first day, a little bit before that. How was the show, Star Trek Lower Decks, pitched to you initially? Like, what did you know about the show? What did you know about the creator, Mike McMahon? I believe that's how you say his name. Like, how did you guys hear of the show?
Well, they came to me in my castle, and they were like, we would like to do the show, and we want your permission. No, I didn't. When I auditioned for the show, I had no idea it was a Star Trek show. I just got an audition, and then I went and I crushed it. And then I got the part, but I had no idea that it would take me on this journey. I've gotten to not only have this cast is so wonderful, but I'm getting to come to conventions now and meeting. Just the fan bases and how supportive they've been has been incredible.
That's awesome.
When I got the audition for it, there were dummy sides, so it wasn't a Star Trek show. The dummy side said California class on it. I know what that is now, but at the time it was, it was just talking about the Cerritos and the California class, and there was no, there was a lot of technobabble to see if I could do it. But it wasn't like the straight up Star Trek until after the fact. Also, everybody else had already been cast, I guess, when I got in. So Yeah, I was a late addition as Rutherford, but once we got in, it was great. So that was my way in. Once I found out it was Trek, it was very exciting. And then all the technobabble was like, oh, this makes sense. Yeah.
Fred, what about you?
I was a huge Trek fan growing up, and I got called in, and I love Mike McMahon's work. We worked together a lot before, and he's just tremendous. But I got the script, and I did see that it was Star Trek, or it was really kind of obvious that the names that they were referencing were Star Trek. I thought, you can't do this. Like, I thought it was like a bit. Like, I thought it was like an SNL kind of like.
Yeah.
And even in parody, we couldn't do this. Like, I was like, yeah, you can kind of make fun of a show, but not like directly.
Yeah.
You know, like you're talking about Mr. Spock. You know, like you can't. And I looked at Mike. I said, "Is this happening? Are you making like?" No, I know. I don't know if we're gonna be able to do it. Like he knew he was screwed. Like he knew, like, oh gosh, I think it's the Roddenberrys. You know, like like is this gonna be something we can actually do? But it's a real thing. I thought, oh my god, this is so funny. You know, and then my character was so bristled, and I was going for the joke of being the guy who like shoots first and asks questions later. They're hailing us, let's blow it up! You know, and I go, no, don't blow it up. You know, I didn't realize, and then as that developed, I realized, oh, he's got a heart of gold, you know, and he's a sweet guy. You know, so that was my intro into it.
So Fred, you said that you came on board being a Trekkie, so this question is for Eugene and Noel. A fun fact for me, maybe everyone in this room knows it except for me, but I ended up learning that Mike McMahon said that he named the series after an episode of Next Generation that also happened to be called Lower Decks. And it was an episode that he forced all the writers to watch before starting the show. Prior to landing your roles on the show, were you Trekkies yourselves? Were you guys familiar with the franchise?
Very familiar with the franchise. I grew up watching the original series with my dad. And then when I was in college, I watched a little bit of TNG, but a lot of original series for me was big for Trek. And then once this started happening, and I knew a lot about some about Trek. I didn't realize how little I knew compared to Mike McMahon and Tawny. But when all of the Easter eggs started showing up in each of the episodes, I didn't want to be behind. So I like started catching up real quick, and it was real easy. I enjoyed it. So yeah, I became a bigger fan once I got involved in the franchise, but even more so once we started going to cons, and especially the Trek ones, and just seeing how everybody was so affected by certain series that I didn't necessarily like, I don't know if that one would be for me. And then I would hear a story, I'm like, okay, I'll check it out. So it was great.
Yeah, like Eugene, I would watched episodes that came on TV, saw some of the movies, but it is infectious. So once you're a part of the family, you it's not like you have to watch it, you want to, and you want to get familiar, and lucky that it's unfolded. We're lucky that the show went for as long as it did, and that it's continuing, and so I feel like I'm getting more and more immersed, and I understand more and more. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of one of those things, like, usually if you prepare for a role, you might have like one thing to watch, or you have
so much.
So much.
It's great. Yeah.
It kind of becomes like an impossible task.
You learn about your culture, it's the Orion and the majority.
Yeah,
you gotta know everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there are things that you can deep dive in just to get familiar with episodes that you're recording for Lower Decks, but generally the canon, that's sort of this thing you collect along the way.
Yeah, that's incredible. So, obviously we're here at Collective Con, so I'd be remiss if I didn't ask about the fans that you guys have interacted with. Is there any memorable interactions that you've had with Star Trek fans? And I'd also like to know, what words come to mind when you think about Star Trek fans that maybe separate them, or, I don't know, elevate them above, maybe other fandoms that you guys have met?
I would say scientific, loyal, passionate. There's something really cool about like the belief what Roddenberry believed in, and there's, it's something we need. I'm not going to preach. I'm just saying it's just like we need it now. And I think I see there's a lot of people who get into this and say, yeah, this is really cool, and it's a deep dive. And yes, Dr. Tana and Shaq, I've seen so many great couples. You know, the cosplay that people do for Shaq's is unbelievable.
Oh man, it's my
crazy.
favorite.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And then to play off the Dr. Tana thing, it's great to see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I love seeing. I love seeing everything that gets made. Like I get a lot of art, and so I have like a section in my apartment for all my Trek presents that I get. So I feel like I'm always getting offerings, and I'm like, what do I give you back? I also really love when people show me their tattoos. I see Tindy tattoos, and I'm like, that is so beautiful, and also, that's forever, right?
Yeah. There was my favorite interactions are on the Star Trek cruise because I'm not sober. Ever. Yeah. But on the cruise this last time through, me and Noel were on it, and Tommy, and this group of friends turned to us and they were like, "Oh, here's your tattoos," and they lifted up their leg and their calf. Their whole calf. It was like two couples. Each of them one had a Boimler, one had a Rutherford, one had a Tendy, one had a Mariner, and it was like taking up the whole calf. And I'm like, what is happening?
And they were fresh too. They were fresh tattoos.
Yeah.
Like they had just gotten them done and they got on the boat.
Excited. Yeah.
Yeah. I also love that a lot of people have named. I mean, this is just about Tindy because she's the best. No, but they had named, a lot of people have named their pets after.
Yes.
I don't know if have you had that?
Yeah, there's been a couple of Rutherfords, Rutherford cats.
Yeah, Tindy. I've had Tindy dogs and a few cats, and I'm just like that. Sometimes you're wondering if you're making an impact in the world. I was like, I could go to sleep forever now.
Tindy's such a great dog or cat.
Rutherford
feels too long. Oh yeah. If the dog could talk, then Rutherford.
Shax, get off the counter right now.
Shax is a cat. Shax.
Be like, all right, I just need the catnip. Why can I just not? All right, never mind.
But yeah, I think just the Trek fans in general just have a different mentality. They have a love for each other that's different from every other fandom, I would say. I mean, I'm happy to be part of all of the other franchises, but they don't get. Like when you're in Trek, you're in the Trek family. All of a sudden, you're friends with Frakes and Gates and everybody, and you're like, oh wow, thank you. But like with any of the other franchises, it's not like you can just walk up to anybody else who was in a Star Wars show or a Marvel show and be like, hey, we did a thing. Because they're like, no, your thing was different from my thing. Where in Trek, it's like, no, we all did this thing. We're all still part of this thing. And your Rutherford, yes. So it's very cool.
I'd like to ask a more personal question. This show revolves around a cast of people who are essentially doing, the grunt work, menial work. I'm curious about what getting your hands dirty brings to mind for you. Like, what's the toughest or worst job that you've ever had to do?
We've talked about this before. We've all.
Man.
I've had so many jobs, bad jobs, and.
Yeah. I cleaned dishes.
Yeah.
That was cool, though. It was interesting. It was like it was so scientific because it's so hot. This thing that they put it on, and if you see lipstick stains on a wine glass, understand that it has been cleaned with 250 degrees. It's just the paraffin has stayed on.
Wow.
Yeah, and it remains out of this.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's little things you discover like that.
I spent a lot of years making lipsticks that wouldn't come out. And that job was just grueling for me.
But JPL called you.
JPL called me. Now I'm a scientist.
That's right.
I spent a lot of time working as a bartender in bars, managed bars in New York for a while. Like that was my grind. And then I wanted to leave that life for a minute, and I started working at a hotel. in New York, and I don't know if anybody stayed at the Bryant Park Hotel and needed a wake-up call. That was supposed to be me, but I was asleep. And like I would work overnight, so I'm like, what a great job! I could just sleep during this, and then I wouldn't be awake for anybody's wake-up call. So
Didn't happen a lot.
yeah, and it would be, I got fired real quick. It was just not my thing, and I remember specifically, I worked there, and the Bare Naked Ladies, the band, stayed there, and I missed all of their wake-up calls. And they were like, hey, they had a flight. I'm like, oh boy. But that's not, I mean, missing a flight ain't my fault. But maybe they needed a call to go get to your flight. But sorry, Bare Naked Ladies.
You should write a song about
We're
it.
not sorry. He's not sorry.
I think they broke up because
Yeah.
I never got woken up. I never got woken up.
I started at Sonic as a car hop.
Aw, cute.
It was really cute. I did one time try to, you get paid. I was in Texas and its minimum wage was like $5.15 an hour.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to school. I need more money because I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
So when you have roller skates, when you do the roller skates, you get $1 extra an hour. And I was like, okay, we're gonna do this. So I tried to do roller skates for one day, and I would just crash into people's cars to stop. And they were like, you can't do that anymore. And then I also worked, I worked at a lot of ice cream shops. I was like a very militant ice cream scooper, and I managed an ice cream shop in the mall, and then I worked at a gelato shop, and then eventually I was like, when I moved to LA, it's actually very competitive to have a food service job in Los Angeles, and it has to be like, you have to really commit to it. And I was like, I need to focus on my art. So I worked for a content farm, and it was horrible because you had to edit search terms that people had submitted, and then you had to make them into potential article headlines that then somebody would then write a potential article for. Now they would just have AI doing it. But at the time it was like me and a bunch of ladies across America that were like,
ChatGPT.
I was ChatGPT, but you had to do it as fast as you could, and you would get 1 cent for every search term. 1 cent. Sometimes
Wow.
1 cent that you edited, and so I had like these.
But you got an extra $1 an hour for wearing roller
For
skates.
roller skates, yeah, exactly. But it would be things like the search terms would be weird. Like it'd be like fungus foot what, and you'd have to write like, what is the fungus on my foot, and you couldn't add too many words because then it wouldn't be the actual search term. So I would just be doing that in my apartment and set like this as fast as I could. That was definitely my worst job.
Fungus foot.
And that's a 10D job.
That's a total 2D job. I was actually really fortunate the way that I stopped having to do that is I did make, YouTube had just come out, and I had made a comedy video around that time. I did that for as long as I possibly could, and then one of my videos went viral.
Nice.
And then it started paying for my rent.
Oh.
And then my
Was that video called Fungus Foot what?
that's a Bare Naked Ladies song.
That is He didn't wake me up. Fungus Foot what?
Fungus what?
Now, I want to ask, Lower Decks is obviously a comedic show.
What?
You guys have, surprise! All of you come from some sort of comedy background, have improv experience. I was curious, how much flavor were you allowed to add to the scripts? Are there any famous lines that were actually unscripted riffs or anything?
Not for me. I think, Mike McMahon did an amazing job of writing great scripts. And I had the pleasure of doing a lot of the technobabble. So I didn't have the energy to improvise after the fact because I was just making sure that all of it made sense and that I ended every line up because that was like the Rutherford way that it always had to end like this. So if it didn't, I would do this whole technobabble thing and end it just kind of like no. And they're like, you didn't end up. I'm like, ah. And then I'd have to do it again the whole time and just make sure that it went up. So when they were like, hey, do you want to have any fun with it? I'm like, I'm having a blast. I'm ready to go.
I would agree that the scripts are already super tight. The vision is really there. I will say for Tindy, I would accidentally do things that they would get super excited about, like I would get very excited, and they're like, that's Tindy, and I'd be like, what did I do? And they're like, what you just did, and I was like, don't remember what I don't have any self-awareness.
She's just knocking things over.
I was just like, so they would write in things that became Tindyisms, but they were off of, came off of me being hyper and easily excitable in real life. And I think like one of the lines in one of the earliest episodes of like, I got to hold a heart. I believe I improvised that. I would improvise little things about her just being like super excited, and then they start writing towards the things that we are good at and the things that we would lean to. So eventually it would just be in the script. Like I'd be like, oh, that I know how to say that, and it's like because you were saying that.
Yeah, it was exactly. It was a lot like music, and there was the Mike McMahon read. Did you guys have to do that?
Yes.
Because it would be like, I will destroy you. No, he like, I'll destroy you! Like, everything is just fast.
Bigger,
And at the time it sounded hard, like, okay, we're just gonna do that. But then when you see it in the mix, it all works. It's like, that's why you needed that punch.
But it had to be huge and fast.
Yes, huge and fast. And so improv for my character was allowed a lot because he's so emotive. So like little moments where I just love how un-Starfleet he is. So there's a moment of like, I don't understand these computers. Like who says that? I don't get any of this. And like that method acting, but it also is like, but it was like, oh yeah, so he just wanted us to just keep going, and then they'd rewrite a line, and then we would do the line, and he said, no, you know what, I think it sounds better, up, down, and we would just finesse it, so it was a really great give and take, kind of like a jazz, it was really cool.
That's awesome.
I think it's a fact when I say this that you guys worked with a murderer's row of talent. I mean, you guys have great actors like Tanya Newsome, Jack Quaid, Don Lewis, Jerry O'Connell. Without mentioning, let's give it up for this. Without mentioning the people currently at this table, who else on the cast? You know what? You can break the rule. Absolutely. Who else on the cast have you had a chance to like really bond with or learn from? It sounds like you guys have mentioned a couple times that being a part of the Star Trek lore and the franchise has really kind of binded you guys in a way. Is there any memorable exchanges or experiences that you've had of other cast members?
I just like to say that Tawny's been such a great leader for me in terms of Star Trek, because not only is she just like a professional, super talented, but she's like the keeper of Star Trek lore in terms of lower decks for me. And she, I feel like, really set the tone for how we were all going to interact with each other and making sure we're all always included. And she always got the party started. So I'm very grateful to her and her professionalism, leadership, and friendship.
I agree. I think Tawny has done an amazing job of really setting the bar and making us all comfortable within the hijinks of what the Lower Decks cast is. But yeah, everybody is so talented. The crazy thing is the bonding doesn't really happen because we all record separately. And instead, you get to go to a convention or some Star Trek get together and talk to a lot of the legacy guys who were, who did a voice on the show, and be able to be like, hey, thanks for doing it, and be excited for to see too many Harry Kims, and that kind of stuff. And I think that was just awesome to have that opportunity to do that. But we definitely became closer because we didn't record together. We get closer when we get to see each other, which is not as often. So we get excited when that. I don't think it was until season 4 that Jack, Quaid, and I ever met in person. And we met at Tawny's birthday party. But we had texted, we had done Zoom interviews and stuff, but just never in person did we get to see each other. And he's amazing, and it was just really cool to have that opportunity to see that. Also, Tawny and him tower over me and Noel.
Yeah, they're both very tall people.
Yeah.
Very tall privilege.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's funny. It's funny. I don't ever think of myself as a short person until I am around.
I know, both of them.
And then you see pictures, and I'm like, wow, where?
Man.
And the crossover episode was perfect.
Oh, God.
Right? Like, she is that character.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
So that was
yeah,
no big brainer there. And I know they were stressed about, because he's a tall guy. Jack's hilarious, and he's a tall dude, and they were, I think, worried about, like, is he going to match this? And it only added to how great it was. He's this wonderful, smart dork.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just brilliant, you know, and then they even make fun of how we talk and how they talk in the show. It was really
So fun.
But yeah, so they are definitely wonderful leaders, and it was fun for me to finally meet Dr. Tana. See, we've had this whole relationship.
Oh, yes.
And we never worked together.
Jillian.
So I see Jillian one time in the studio, and we just like, it was like a reunion. We're like, oh my God. Thank you, it was fun to have sexy time, you know. Which, by the way, I think I said at a photo shoot at one time, a naked time or sexy time.
Yeah.
And these people were coming in, and I think I said something, and Tony's looking at me like, oh my God, don't say that. I was like, naked time! Oh. And everyone's like, we're taking photos? Never mind. But yeah, it was really, so the bonding is here. You know, this is really.
Also, Mike put together, I would say that Mike McMahon, I mean, it all starts at the top, in like any industry show or anything that you have to have really good leadership, and he has such a good eye for bringing, I feel like, bringing people together and finding the best of the best. So I'm sure, you know, everybody should just give him the baton again.
Yes, and he will.
Please.
Yeah.
And if Lower Decks ever got to do like any live action thing, I would have to have like 1 foot flats underneath my shoes in order to
I'm working out.
Yeah,
it's hard.
yeah.
I know.
Stay on these roids.
I've got one more question to ask, and then we'll open it up to the audience Q&A. I think it'll be a lot of fun. This December will mark 2 years since the season finale of the show. Looking back at all 50 episodes, is there one specific moment or maybe a line from your character that you think perfectly sums up their entire journey from InSig to where they ended up?
Okie dokie.
I'm gonna check the work
I don't know. I mean, there's been some awesome things within the seasons that I love. I loved that in the Reflections episode, I got to play the evil version of myself, so very, you know.
That's one of my favorite episodes.
Track, like very, you know, it was very track. But also it was the episode where it was canon that Rutherford's Filipino, which is huge. And a big thing for me, so that meant a lot to see it in the script and to know that that became canon after then. So that was a big moment for me and a big episode. But everything, like Badgy episodes are great. Moopsie's great. I mean, it's all great. I really a blast.
I love the Badgy episodes too. I think for me, for my own character though, I still laugh at the fact that he just wants, I just wish somebody would talk about my feelings. You're like, I just love that.
Yeah.
I mean, that whole thing with him, the whole everything is about just like, can we just be personal? You know, like, and I love that contrast with the tough guy.
Oh, man.
No?
I love that Tindy finds her place, not only within the Lower Deckers, like she finds her place within herself. She has she kind of has like an identity issue. She's running away from her past and like what she was supposed to be, but wants to be what she is. And I feel like by the end of the show, she's able to integrate her past and then step into a leadership role while feeling like I think she really feels like she belongs.
Yeah,
She's got the character arc.
Yeah, she really does.
that Tendy, the badass Tendy.
The badass Tindy.
Yeah.
Was awesome.
And it was awesome. It was awesome for me to play because I feel like people tend to project onto me that I'm like a quiet and sweet person, and I'm always like, what?
Yeah. Noel's one of the meanest people I've ever met.
It's true. He crossed me. You just haven't seen it yet because you guys are all so respectful.
Watch, anytime I'm near a staircase, she pushes me.
Yeah. We just have to keep him on his toes.
Right?
But yeah, I loved the arc that she went through, and I felt like for me having people love the show, loving the character, and loving that she is this excitable geek which is who I am, but then also getting to embody this badass who is somebody that I feel like I also am but never get to express was just wonderful. And to see that people embraced it and celebrated it was a very, when people talk about like, wow, a role is a gift, you hear people talking about like, this changed my life. I feel like it was, I grew through the process of being this character, and it was in a time in my life that I really needed something like this in terms of being a performer and finding my own people and people that are on the same page as far as like what being an entertainer and telling stories is all about.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's great. Collective Con, let's give them a round of applause. If you have a burning question for the panel, all right. My man Eric here has got the roaming mic. He'll walk to you. Eric,
awesome.
Right,
Okay.
Center, please.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get your question. If we can get your name and your question, and we'll get started.
Great boy, Mark.
Yeah, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey.
real name Henry. A question for all of you. You too, if you want to participate. If holodecks were real, like what kind of program set would you guys enjoy?
What I enjoy? I mean, I don't want to tell you.
Holodeck, not holosuite.
Yeah. What would I enjoy? I mean, I don't know. That's tough.
I would love to just, if there was a way just to just explore, float through the galaxy, just fly but fast. We can really explore other parts of the planets, different planets, without having all the physical repercussions. I'd love to see that.
I feel like old school Hollywood productions would be really cool.
Yeah.
Like where there's a lot of moving parts in a studio space and everybody's like,
With a big.
yeah, like a microphone and I just
Love that.
Yeah, I feel like that would be cool to go participate in and be like, I want to be the script girl.
All these beautiful girls in this picture.
Yeah, I feel like that would be incredible. Old school Hollywood.
We'll make hundreds of dollars and be the richest men in the city.
All right, looks like we
The
got another
holodeck
question.
would take me just back to the house I grew up in.
Oh, that would be.
Wouldn't that be cool?
They would be able to do it. I don't know what we'd be doing there other than just sitting.
But that's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd
That's
just be like, I think I left my keys here.
That's great. All right, Eric, we got another question over there?
If we can get your name and your question.
Hi, my name is Shubi, and
Shooty.
yeah, and I just wanted to say first, this show was actually my introduction to Star Trek. And I was
yeah.
hooked when Tandy asked Rutherford, "Are you into the monkeys?" and he said, "You could say I'm a believer." I was hooked right then.
Yeah.
But my question is, when they were doing the live action crossover with Strange New Worlds,
Were we mad?
no, I was going to ask if you were mad. I was actually going to
It's
ask.
okay,
I
calm
feel
down.
like you two also look exactly like your characters, and I feel like if they put you guys in costumes, you guys could have pulled it off so well. Was that in talks, and did they have costumes or anything made for you guys?
The script already had it where we came in as animated through the thing. So that was upsetting. Because I was like, I think my head would pop out. Or something. But, but Frakes was directing it too, and when we did the table read, which was still over Zoom at the time, it was just exciting to be in that read that I was just like, I don't care, this is great. But ultimately, yeah, if we did a live action, I would have to get some high heels, some real stripper heels.
It's funny because I feel the characters were already designed before we were cast.
Yeah.
And I've had, on the cruise, somebody was like, oh, they made the character look like you. And I was like, no. It's just like this thing that's happening where I'm becoming more like her, or I don't know. But yeah, people keep asking me. I don't really like stuff on my skin, so they'll have to, this will have to, we'll have to,
Yeah.
this is where AI is going to be great, right?
Yeah.
Or we'll just make my skin green in post, maybe. Or I don't know.
Let's figure it out now.
We'll figure it out now, yeah. Or I've also been
workshop.
mentally preparing if they ever do it, where I'm like, okay, if I had to be in costume, or if I had to be in makeup, I will make it work. But I was not jealous when the crossover happened because I was still mentally preparing myself. But
Got it.
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah, we still got to participate. Yeah, we did the table read.
But we totally look like. I mean, when Mike McMahon, the creator of the show, first met me, I had shaved part of my eyebrow. I was wearing sunglasses just on one side. So it's just like he was like, "Oh well, this is totally this character." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" But my voice was deep.
All right. Eric, what do we got?
Awesome. We got our next question here in the middle. Your name first.
My name's Lewis, and this is for Noel and Eugene. First, thank you for being on Star Trek The Cruise.
Yeah.
We had such a great time
Great.
watching all your skits.
Cool to remember you guys.
And
No, I'm just kidding. I was not. Yeah.
what was your favorite thing from the cruise other than the calf tattoos?
Other than the calf tattoos? I mean, I enjoy it because it's, instead of it just being kind of packed into a weekend, you have a week to just kind of chill out and have like actual conversations. And that's always fun. And like, you know, having time to kind of catch up with everybody else who cast-wise is there, or get to know them, was just really cool. And also this year especially, Noel and I and Tani were all on it together, so it was like a hang.
It was a hang, yeah.
And that definitely helped it a lot and made it fun. And then just watching everybody in their cosplay and costumes and stuff for each night was like exciting to just walk through the promenade and be like, oh, cool. This is
Yeah, I liked, okay, so I really like, this is very specific, but.
great. The Windjammer?
The Windjammer, I was gonna say.
Were you really?
Yeah, I liked going in the mornings to the Windjammer and seeing everybody like hungover and getting like their little buffet breakfast and everybody waving at each other and the guy dancing.
Wait, that's me. I was hungover.
Yeah, exactly. And you would see everybody, and then it's like everyone's preparing for their day. So that was
Klingon breakfast, right?
Yeah.
It was exactly like that. So that was kind of my favorite moment of just like, oh, we're all in this. We're in it. And this is our moment where we're all taking our little breather, and then everybody's going to disperse into their adventure of the day. Yeah.
But I will say, there was nothing better than sitting in that theater and seeing Shatner come in from the floor.
Yeah. I did also love those shows.
Yeah.
I got to
was
sing
like,
with.
this is crazy.
I got to sing with an opera singer, Arturo.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, wow, I don't, some things you just can't plan that you needed where for yourself, you're like, oh yeah, this is the next level. Where you're suddenly singing Sondheim with an actual opera singer.
And you were amazing, and it was a great show.
Thanks, yeah.
But John Delancey does the music of Trek with an amazing orchestra as one of the shows on the cruise. And at the end of it, they started playing Rocket Man, and Shatner came up from the floor and sang Rocket Man, and it was insane. It was just like,
He's really there.
He's really there, and he's
Really
just,
him.
and that's really him. Yeah.
Wow.
And he's really singing it, and no.
Rocket Man.
I would
Yeah.
say that's like the
Rocket Man.
perfect. He understood the assignment.
He understood.
Yeah, he understood
He's
the
so
assignment of being William Shatner.
No, he's amazing. His performance stuff, his rock and roll stuff is amazing. I love when he performs.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
And to see everybody
Yeah.
go as crazy as everybody else. I think that's the
also
other
very
thing.
cool. Watching
It's just like
everybody-
everybody going like, oh, sure, he's coming up from the floor. It's such a slow, it was so slow, but everybody was cheering for so long.
Video, bridge.
Fred, have you had a chance to meet William Shatner? Do you have a Shatner story?
Many times. No, it's fabulous. I got a chance in San Diego. Talked to him a few times, and he got really cosmic. I got a chance to really talk to him about the universe and all, and he really just has so much to say, and you're just like, oh my God. The one story that was funny though, he introduced me at the Annie Awards, and he's the only one who actually pronounced my name correct in the Italian. And he's like, that shouldn't be it. It's Fred Tatasciore, right? And I come out and applaud. I was like, okay, Captain Kirk is the only one who's ever pronounced this name correctly. So sabotage this, And he's like, is he upset? I'm sorry. No, thank you, sir.
Wow.
No, he's an absolute, just a gem. I just love talking with him. He's an incredible guy.
That's awesome. Eric, I think we've got time for maybe one or two other questions.
Okay, we got some here in the center I'll try to get to, if we can get your name.
Hey guys, my name is Ken.
Hey, Ken.
I teach 7th grade middle school.
Amazing.
So I wanted to ask you if your character in Lower Decks had to start teaching 7th graders, 12, 13-year-olds. What do you think your teaching style, what would your classroom look like? Successful, disaster, regular middle school classroom? Like, what do you think your vibe would be as a teacher?
I think Rutherford's classroom would be amazing.
Yeah.
It would be so many gadgets and everything, and everybody would get involved, and everybody would stay excited. Because I don't think there's been anybody more excited about engineering than Sam Rutherford. So yeah, I think there'd be a positive vibe in that classroom, and he'd be in his element because he'd probably think that everybody's his same age, and just be like, "Look at this," let's take this apart, and then making models of Cerritos.
Yeah, I feel like Tindy, it would be similar for Tindy. She would be on their level in terms of being excited for everything to be hands-on. And I know personally I really enjoy when younger people are engaged and excited about what they're doing. So I can only imagine my best teachers were like that for me. So I would hope that Tindy would be the same. Yeah, where you're just I believe in you. I love what you're passionate about. Follow that. Get in that. Go there. And yeah, and I think also an environment where the kids would also be supporting each other and cheering each other on.
Yeah.
It'd be a lab full of animals too.
Yeah. There'll be a lot of inventions.
You'd be like, oh, this is kind of
Yeah.
Just a dog, one dog.
One dog.
I would imagine there would be self-defense.
Yeah, sure.
You learn how to be badass and fight. And then there would be either poetry or singing choir where we cry. And get in touch with our feelings.
Oh,
I think that's
I would take that class now.
Yeah. Honestly, we would have a really great school.
Yeah, we would.
Now we got it all covered.
Yeah, we have it covered. Yeah, go to that school. Yeah.
Guys, look, this has been insanely fun, but it's 11:45, and that is all the time we got for our panel. Can we give a large, big round of applause?
Thank you, guys.
Now, if you have more questions to ask them, find them on the convention floor. I believe all three of them are here all day today. So find them, ask your questions. Let's give a round of applause for yourselves. You guys have been great as well.
Yeah, so come by the table, even if I think we want to do, if we're kind of far away from each other, but we want to do, if you want to do dual photographs with us, we'll make it work. And we'll be
trios,
trios, we'll hang out. Also, at my table, I brought merch for my music.
And it's amazing.
Yeah, and I have, so if you guys want.
Your name? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's my name. I have, I have a lot of art side hustles, and so if you want to. Foot funk.
Yeah. Fungus foot.
Yeah, I'm just going to tour with the bare naked ladies. Yeah, no, but if you want to come over, and then I'm also, if you get anything, I have free stickers and stuff, and I just wanted to share my things, and so come say hi, even if you just want to say hi and grab some stuff.
Eugene, Fred, any shameless plugs before we wrap up?
Shameless?
That's not shameless.
Oh, also,
Prideful.
I have I do shoe portraits where I do drawings of people's shoes. I'm not doing it at the table, but you can go on my website and order it, and I have a little discount sheet if you want to get it, so.
Cool.
Yeah.
I just want to plug Noel.
I do too.
Yeah.
Love Noel.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hold on.
Whatever you think that meant, I 100%. Whatever you think, whatever your mind's thinking it is, I mean it across the board.
He's just, we're hyping each other up.
Yeah.
How you guys feel about taking a picture? I think our AV team here would love to take a group photo. You guys down for that? Yeah. Come on,
All right, guys. Corey's going to work with Badr and our guests up on the stage. If you want to make your way to the red carpet,